There's all sorts of superstitions out there when it comes to what singers should drink, how they should drink, when they should drink it. I'm here to make it very simple for you. First of all, a little bit of alcohol before a performance or a recording session or a YouTube video can be quite nice. It calms the nerves. It takes the focus off some of the fears you may have going into things. But remember, moderation. No alcohol if you're under 21. Second of all, teas, potions, elixirs, combinations of things, those are fine to drink in different capacities while you're not singing. When you're singing, stick to room temperature water. It minimizes the amount of saliva. You're not going to shock your vocal cords with hot tea or sweet or fizzy things. Stick to the good stuff when you're singing. Save the rest of it for outside.
In light of all the ways I've been exploring my voice recently when it comes to distortion and screaming,
I'm living on your life. Yeah, well, I understand. Mess you up for celebrity status just for me. You don't feel a thing.
I've developed this quick, easy to do warm-up that has really helped me prepare my vocal postures for exploring my voice further and creating an environment for my voice where I can go places for longer without burning my voice out. And warming up is just the very tip of the iceberg when it comes to exploring your voice and what's possible. If you'd like more help really finding out what you're capable of with your voice and not judging yourself while you're finding out, click the link below and join my free course, linked in the video description or the pinned comment. This is a super simple warm-up and I'm really excited to share it with you. It's centered around this sound. It's like the count. Now, let's talk about why this sound is useful, because if you don't fully understand the why behind this warm-up, it's not going to be as helpful. We have a hard onset, right? And we have a hard ending to it. In other words, we're holding back a little bit of air, and then letting the sound with our natural voice come out, and then we're cutting it off quickly, and we're doing it sequentially. And we're doing it goofily, just like a cartoon. Doing this, even in that form, is warming up your support and your ability to hold back, which is essential for distorted singing. Great, healthy, distorted singing involves an amount of compression. So once you've spent a bit of time getting familiar with in different parts of your range, don't worry about going up into your head voice right now. Don't go too high or too low. Just be comfortable with it and create that hard onset and then a hard cutoff. Now, a hard onset is different than a soft onset. A soft onset would be ha, ha, ha. We're not working on that right now. We're working on hard, immediate. Held back air, Once you've gotten this coordination down, we're going to lean in to the exit. In other words, we're going to continue to hold back, but not hold back all the way, and continue to support after we think we've ended the phonation. Let me demonstrate. Hard onset. We're letting a little bit of air escape, but we've transferred the sensation from our vocal cords up higher in our throat. And you should hear that little gurgly sound. So we have a clean, hard onset followed by a little bit of gravelly. We've removed our voice and we're holding our breath and we're ceasing to phonate. So we start with clean on both sides. Then we add a little bit of the on the other side. We try to make the front clean and the back dirty. It really tests your coordination. And we're going to lengthen the amount of air seepage. Kind of cool. If you feel like your throat's starting to get gravelly or you're going to cough, make sure that you're thinking about raising that sensation as high in your throat as possible. In other words, we don't want, we don't want the old man, we don't want that. We want, This has really helped me place my compression. Then, starting clean with the hard onset, we're going to be more explosive with that hard onset while still trying to keep it clean. Hold our breath, release, and combine that with catching the exit. Now, let's take it a step further. I'm going to lean in to the exit while trying to keep the note going once I find that little gritty space. Notice I'm still starting clean with a hard onset. This helps me set my compression level. So, Okay, final step. Start assigning simple notes. I'll do a triad. Now, extend the note into that sensation of the exit. Then you can change up the vowel. The key is that I'm always trying to start clean in this warm-up so that I can center my positioning, center my support, and my compression. That hard onset really is helpful for that. It's more challenging as you get higher, for sure. That's why this warm-up is so awesome, is it forces you to feel out the differences in coordination as you push your range higher. Yeah, you just have to figure it out. You have to play with it. But using this structure is so helpful. Don't worry that you sound dumb. It's okay to sound dumb, especially during warm-ups. All sorts of fun things coming out because I'm treating it as a warm-up and an exploratory warm-up at that, without judgment, without trying to hit certain things or meet certain metrics. I'm just learning and experiencing sensations. I hope this was helpful for you. If you'd like more crazy, weird things like this to help you discover what your voice is capable of, click that link below in the video description or pinned comment and join my free course. I will help you unlock all sorts of things in your voice you never knew were there.
Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches and slam in the back of my Dragula. Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches and slam in the back of my Dragula. Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches and slam in the back of my Dragula. Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches and slam in the back of my Dragula. Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches and slam in the back of my Dracula. Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches and slam in the back of my Dracula. Do it, baby. Do it, baby. Do it, baby. Do it, baby.
Hey, Chris Liepe here with special guest Andy Sizik.
What's up?
And you get to show us how you found your fry scream.
Oh, yeah.
Why won't this punishment end? Treating something to make it pop and I will respond again.
Now, before you try to follow along with any of this, it's very important that you're warmed up. And warmed up in a specific way to handle all the variety you're going to be throwing at your voice. If you'd like to learn how to warm up like Andy does for all the stuff that he does, click that link below in the pinned comment or the video description and join the free course. What's the course called?
Monumental Vocal Warm-Ups with Andy Sizik. So my journey started with just the idea of what fry sounds like, right? And I was like, how is that a scream? You know, eventually I sort of took it from, I had a little air.
So you're adding air to the fry.
Yeah, a little H. Yeah. And even then, I knew that wasn't a full scream. You know, I'd have to turn the gain up to
There's
100.
no projection, yeah.
Rah, rah, rah. So I was just stumped. I spent a lot of time trying to just amplify this sound. I'd be like, rah, 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 you know, just hitting this wall, and I didn't understand how to project. It wasn't until I started watching some of my favorite bands live. For instance, Of Mice and Men has a song called Second and Sebring. This was back in like 2009, 2010. Just listening to their song and watching live videos and watching their music videos, I noticed the cracks and the imperfections and how the onset of their voice was actually more of a squeaky head voice kind of thing.
So your gateway was head voice,
Yeah.
not fry.
And not even a perfect head voice. I mean, the root of it, it sounds like crap. It's like, I'm not I'm not really projecting a solid note.
Yeah.
But I noticed the onset was very, stop. And then, so I realized, like, that's the root of my scream. That's the instrument that I apply this fry distortion pedal to. And so gradually I would just start experimenting with mixing those two sounds and sensations.
Mixing that supported fry with the air with the head voice. Let's hear that.
Yeah, so I'll sort of take you through the process of beginning to end. So I got the, that very squeaky, and I started to combine them. And I'm even feeling a little bit of support from my core or the poop muscles or the diaphragm, whatever you want to refer it to, as I push that distorted sound. I'm also using my core to make sure that head voice note is nice and supported, because it's easy to fall out and lose that support when you start trying to incorporate distortion. You know, but you want to try to maintain that support the whole time.
So this is a completely like upside down way that I've ever approached this. I've always approached it from the bottom up,
right?
Whereas you're approaching it from the top. But this makes a ton of sense, especially with the sample we just watched.
Yeah, and I find that thinking of it as sort of a higher point of sensation for your scream really lends itself to this type. It's different than other fry vocalists that's more like, hey. We're not placing it down there. We're placing it up here. Very creaky and squeaky and in the face. And this, to me, feels like the least taxing, most healthy way of doing these vocals, because it's nice and relaxed. I'm not pushing my voice to the brink.
You look extremely relaxed. Take us through the process one more time.
Yeah, so relaxed. This is easy. I can do it all day. It's not a big deal. And then this is easy. I could do it all day. Not a big deal. At no point I'm like, oh my God, like I'm pushing, but I'm just sort of figuring out how to do this inside. I'm tapping my head and I'm rubbing my stomach, and that's like the distortion in the head voice notes. So, yeah, proud of, oh, you rise up.
Yeah, in every entrance, I hear so much voice in there, so much of you.
Yeah.
And then you're transitioning out. I love that process of starting with the head voice and just, It comes in without having to push.
Yeah.
It's more of a, okay.
Yeah, it's like you're bored. And there's two cool things about this, right? So if you start from a high place of sensation, you can, during the scream, drop it down to a more chesty place without having that vicious glottal attack. So I could be like, and as I end, I'm getting beefier. But since I'm not attacking it that way, it's a lot less strenuous. Not only that, but once we're really comfortable with that sensation of we can eliminate, if we want to, that squeaky onset and just hit it with precision. But I wouldn't have gotten there without and it eventually becomes a very precise, pinpointed thing.
Let's hear you build it over a track.
All right, I'd love to.
Why won't this punishment end? Treat things as something to make it pop and I will respond again.
All right, so build what you just did from the elements we just talked about.
Yes, sir. All right, so we're going to start with, why won't this punishment end? Then a little, why won't this punishment end?
That's almost like a held back fry.
Very, yeah. It's, again, without the note. Just that sound.
Okay.
Now I'm going to take my mouth and sort of widen it and raise up to higher the pitch of the scream. And I'll keep the squeakiness. Why won't this punishment end? Why won't this punishment end? Why won't this punishment end?
So you're slowly removing the squeaky guy.
Yeah, I'm being just a bit more precise. And again, that's for taste. You can do it however you want, but why won't this punishment end? It's like a razor blade.
Oh, so awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Click that link below and join Andy's free warm-ups course. What's it called?
Monumental Vocal Warm-Ups with Andy Sizik.
In the pinned comment or the video description.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to Clean Mix versus Dirty Mix, where we're going to be comparing and contrasting two very different vocal approaches and vocalists. Oh, and I'll show you how to start putting both of these approaches into your own voice as well. Specimen and example 1.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Now, though there is a little bit of grit and rasp present in Bruno's voice, we're going to consider this the clean mix. Follow me, be patient, listen again.
Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch.
Now you might be saying, that just sounds like he's got a really high chest voice. His tonality hardly changes as he goes up. Doesn't he just have a really high voice and is able to access those notes? Fair question. Suspend that question for just a moment. Specimen and example number 2. One more time there. Listen to how he grows that last note, that last wail. We're going to refer to Tom York's version of mix as the dirty mix. And you'll see why I've given these name classifications shortly. Let's start by comparing the polar opposite postures that are opening up each singer's top end. If we listen to Bruno Mars, he's got a fundamental shape to his vocal tract that is lending itself to a darker, warmer, slightly raspy. And if I just put that in my speech, hey, there's a bit of yawn to it. Hey. I can make it raspier or breathier, but it's really the shape I'm going for. Hey. Now, we're talking very fundamental things right now, so
Keep going with me as I develop each sound. So we've got this one. Hey, 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 hey. Notice I can go higher, higher, higher. Yeah. And it's very long and yawned. Ah! It gets thinner as it goes higher, but it's got this fundamentally darker sound.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Don't believe, don't believe, and then we add a little bit of sigh in there to get some rasp. Don't believe me, just once, yeah. Okay, now compare that with Tom York's approach. We have two different postures entirely. Bring it down into speech level. Don't believe me, just watch. And then, one of them's long, one of them feels short. One of them is a lower larynx, one of them's a higher larynx. One of them is a bit more nasal, although they both engage nasality. We've got bright, brass, warm, lengthy, mellow. Don't believe me, just. This is crazy and really pretty abstract stuff for most singers. But really, it starts by learning how to listen differently. We're not just, oh, that's just how they sound, or that's just how. No, we're being very, very analytical and trying and experimenting with things with our own voices. If you'd like more help doing this, learning how to listen, react, and learn with your own voice, click the link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free voice course, and I'll use more unconventional methods to help you pull things out of your voice you never knew were there and that you never thought you could do. Now watch what happens when I morph between these two different postures over a static note. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Try these different postures in your own voice as I'm doing it, and you're going to be blown away with the range of sounds that you have, especially as you approach that area right around your vocal break. And here's why I'm classifying Tom York's as the dirty mix and Bruno's as the clean mix. As we go higher with Bruno's method, I'm able to keep things cleaner more easily. And you hear that in Bruno's voice as well. Listen to this sample from Uptown Funk again.
Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Hey, 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 oh!
I mean, there's a little bit of grit. Don't believe me, just watch. Hey, 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 oh yeah. Now listen to the end of Stop Whispering, Tom York. Stop, 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 now stop, 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 whispering. Going up to that note, and then he dirties it up. Stop, 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 stop. Tom York placement. Stop. That posture where we abandon into a scream is much more accessible from the bright, brash, mixed approach. Stop, 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 stop. We can have it clean. And then we continue to compress into that twang, into that whine. Push more, hold back more air. And then our voice starts to break over the posture. When I try to do that over Bruno Mars posture, the way the airflow is directed in your dirty mix, where it feels like it sort of bounces off the soft palate and then brashly comes out, lends itself to a compression that the doesn't quite. It's much more strenuous, which is why you hear Bruno sort of clean up as he gets higher, and why guys like Tom York and Chris Cornell, Axl Rose, when they want to get gritty and high, they go to the Tom York style of mix. Listen to Bruno Mars clean up and switch between different voices here. Ooh, to the city. And then he's in head voice. City, oh, you got me. Now, yes, he's got a much higher chest voice. It definitely feels like mix, but it is pulling more chest in order to get that coordination. So if I want to pull less chest, I think about bringing the resonance from a yawn to a cry. Yo! Yo! And it opens it up, simultaneously allowing me to apply more compression to the sound. Oh, you got me! Yeah! By me rocking back and forth between these two coordinations, I'm able to add more natural grit, and I'm able to not lock myself into pulling too much chest. I'm also able to shape the tone so it doesn't get too brash. On to the, I'm going to be very yawned, to the city. So I'm pulling more chest, but I'm still mixing. I'm allowing myself to thin out. Head voice long. And then once I get to O, I'm going to borrow from a little bit of Tom York. To the city. Oh, oh, ah, 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 oh, you got me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you got me. To the city. Oh. You hear how it's freeing my voice? The true lesson here is don't let just one singer or one tone with amazing technique dictate your approach. Listen, critically listen, compare and contrast different vocalists' approaches that sound vastly different, that are hitting notes in amazing ways, and experiment with those differences and how they feel in your own voice. This is what's going to help you unlock balances and coordinations that are going to free certain areas of your voice. This is the best way to do it. So we have Bruno Mars. So we have Tom York. So we have Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars. And we have Tom York. Yeah, my voice is different than both of these. Play with these balances and see what comes out in your own voice. If you would like more help unpacking your voice in these crazy unconventional ways, click that link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free course. And be sure to check out this full breakdown of Tom York's style in this video. New Falling in Reverse is always such a randomly awesome experience. I'm excited to hear what we've got in this one. That was a much splattier sound than I would think for a skull.
Dear diary, I've been searching for a higher me. I'm in the sky in the pilot seat, trying to stop my mind from spiraling, and that's irony. I'm just looking for a resolution. I just wanna be a better human, but it's hard when everybody's acting stupid. Pardon me if that came off rude. I just have a bad attitude with the world and not just with you. It's the side effects of abuse. I admit I'm a little strange. I don't think that I'll ever change. I survived a whole life of pain. You could say I escaped my fate. I'm a cynical, egotistical, unpredictable, hardened criminal, and
I really liked that beginning for a lot of reasons. First off, his vocal presentation is just, for what this video is doing, listen.
Dear diary, I've been searching for a higher me. I'm in the sky in the pilot seat, trying to stop my mind from spiraling, and that
He is resigned. He knows that he's messed up. He knows. There's this musical nature to his resignation as well. But it really hit me when the crown of thorns disappeared. I don't know where he's going yet, but
That's irony. I'm just looking for a resolution. I just wanna be a better human, but it's hard when everybody's acting stupid. Pardon me if that came off rude. I just have a bad attitude with the world and not just with you. It's the side effects of abuse. I admit I'm a little strange. I don't think that I'll ever change. I survived a whole life of pain. You could say I escaped my fate. I'm a cynical, egotistical, unpredictable, hardened criminal, and I can be a little
cynical and hardened criminal, and the crown of he's not worthy to wear that, right? That's cool. That's really cool. And then he leads into why did that disappear? This is why.
hypocritical, but I'll admit it straight to your face. I'm unbreakable, irreplaceable, undeniably inspirational. I use everything I had available to make me the person I am today.
I'm into this one.
Dear diary, dear diary.
Diary. He's singing there, sort of. I love that.
I just had another wild dream. I was in a world that admired me, and when I woke up I was smiling, and that's irony. You talk a lot but you don't even know me. I'm just hoping that my testimony will inspire y'all to stop acting phony. Pardon me if that came off weird. I don't mean to be mean, I swear. I have been through a lot this year.
Interesting, weird and year, okay.
I just wanna make a few things clear. I don't like it when people hate behind my back and not to my face. Nowadays it just feels so fake, so I'll cut.
And you can tell, like other amazing musicians have done, I mean, he's taken this opportunity to talk to his fans, to talk to his audience. Lots of people have gone through that.
People hate behind my back and not to my face. Nowadays it just feels so fake, so I'll cut the grass to expose the snakes. I'm unstoppable, it's impossible. You don't wanna see the diabolical side of me that never stops is volatile, so I suggest you stay in your lane. I'm unapologetic, you know where it's headed. I will never ever let up off the pedal. I got the spirit of every warrior in me. Ever back the fuck up, get out my face. You enslaved the labor and you praise the fascists. You kiss the hand that takes half in taxes, faking outrage and being seen. A generation with no self-esteem. It's time to rise up and stand against them. Break the chains and finally see the vision. We're post-traumatic from a broken system. Follow me into the chaos engine. It's time to stand.
I love his rapping.
Post-traumatic from a broken system. Follow me into the chaos engine. It's time to stand, it's time to fight. Don't be afraid to twist the knife. Your sacrifice to break the curse. Prepare to die.
Break the curse! All these different sounds!
If you'd like to learn how to sing, scream, and do all sorts of fun things with your voice, but you aren't quite sure where to start, click the link below and join my free voice course. I'm a vocal coach, and I love helping people discover how to use their voice in amazing ways. You can find the link to the free course in the pinned comment or video description.
Prepare to burn, abandon hope. It's not enough, cause all our gods abandon us. Your sacrifice to break the curse. Light the match, watch it burn.
Ooh, that was beautiful vocally. Oh, wow. Listen.
Watch it burn.
The watch it burn! Yeah! Compression distortion there for that's just singing, yell singing, but holding just enough back so that that distortion kicks in without you blowing everything out.
Abandon hope, it's not enough, cause all our gods abandon us. Your sacrifice to break the curse. Light the match, watch it burn.
I love the breathing at the end of those. I don't know, where's he going with the cross here? And that's beautiful too. The die and then sighing out of that. Beautiful.
Watch it burn.
Watch it burn! Die! And that was cool. Notice how he started in his... He grows that note from a... to a full-out scream! That's hard to do, especially at that pitch, because there's still a pitch in there when he goes to the scream. That blend of clean singing and the choral singing and the pitch screaming behind it is really a neat layer. We've got the cleans, falls apart! And then we have this grounded lower chest sound. When everything falls apart. And then we've got the... When everything falls. We've got that going on. And then we've got his compressed pitch screaming, pitch singing, falls apart! Yay! Where his voice is literally falling apart! And it's layered in there so meticulously, covering all the different frequency ranges. This is a... And then, of course, you have the parallel with the video, you know, heaven and hell coming together or whatever. I love how the music drives the visuals. I maybe I haven't been paying attention as much, but I really am picking up on that in this particular video. Yes, and then the screams become more prominent. Yeah. You still have the melody back there. Yeah, not fit to wear the crown of thorns, but fit to be on a cross. There's some thinking to do there. This is a close second for me to his Papa Roach redo. This was great. I really enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching and enjoying and unpacking with me. If you'd like to learn how to sing or scream, and you want the foundation to be able to do it safely with your voice and to explore your voice in a way that's non-judgmental, click the link below and join my free course. You can find it in the pinned comment or the video description. I'll help you learn to sing clean and with distortion and scream and do it from a place of freedom. And if you'd like to see more of my Ronnie Radke falling in reverse analysis videos, check out this playlist.
Let's try that sort of thing. We want to place things.
Everybody seems to miss this element when they're starting to experiment with compression, especially if they're pursuing compression to lead to vocal distortions. What is this element? It is intentionality and awareness of primary chord closure. Let me explain. You see, if compression at its simplest level is holding back or moderating our airflow, our primary chords do that first before we add any other non-primary chord structures that influence the sound to the sound. So if I'm just going like this, There's no closure with my primary chords. There's no closure anywhere. There's no constriction or restriction of air. As soon as I add even a little bit of primary chords, even just talking normally, I am adding back pressure. I am holding back air. My primary chords are, while phonating, keeping air from just escaping. But depending on our approach to what our primary chords are doing and our awareness of what they're doing in terms of closure, it is easier or more difficult to understand how to add other means of compression, other means, not primary chord means, of controlling and shaping the sound through air moderation. Now, if you get done with what I'm about to show you here and you'd like to go way deeper with honing different types of engagements within your vocal tract to create crazy sounding, distorted things with your voice in a safe way, click the link below in the pinned comment or video description and try my course, The Aggressive Vocalist's Master Plan of Attack. I like to think of compression in primarily two levels: how my primary chords are compressing, and then how other things are compressing once I've gotten what I want to do with my primary chords down. So let's start with heightening our awareness of how our primary chords work from an airflow standpoint. Okay? I'm just going to sing a note. I just sang it. I didn't think about how I sang it. I just sang it. And it's a comfortable note. Now, I'm going to sigh while singing that note. A lot more air. I'm using a lot more air, dumping a lot more air. Now, I'm going to purposely contrast that with a note that is dumping less air. I'm not going to try to trap the note. I'm just going to make it not as sigh-y. I purposely sighed, and I'm going to purposely not sigh. There's a note. Now, I'm going to try to make that note more airy. Therefore, I'm going to use more air, and it's going to sound a little bit wispier or raspier. And notice I'm soft onsetting into this note. Starting with an H. Now, as soon as I did that, I felt the need to rescue that note with more air, more support. As soon as I made it intentionally raspier up here, I'm dumping more air as I'm using that note. And so I needed more air from down here. I needed more support. Let me experiment a little bit more. H, soft onset into it with no air. And then finding some sort of middle ground. I'm going to try this in my head voice now. Now, this is a lot harder for some, and it is harder for me too, especially as I've been spending more time in my chest voice. But I want to H into a solid closure. In other words, as little air dump as possible. Really, really true chord closure. Notice I'm playing with the coordinations in my throat in order to get there. Let's just sigh in head voice first. There it is. That's what I normally gravitate to in head voice anyway, but let's try to approach it now with an H and then pure chord closure. Notice how to lengthen. Great. I'm placing that note in a way that creates chord closure without excess air seepage. Now I'm going to create more of a sigh at the end of that. Whoa, that's really interesting to feel out. Also, I notice when I start dumping more air over that note, it's a little harder to maintain that pitch. This is just something I have to practice. It's the sigh, it's the soft onset into it. It's claiming perfect or as close to perfect chord closure as we can. which means as little air seepage as possible, then going the other direction, intentionally adding air seepage, slightly disengaging our chords. Now, I want to add one other aspect to this. I'm going to add fry at the end of my sigh to this transition. So we have just fry at the very end. Fry out of your sigh. So with the more air, we're already adding fry to that little bit more air. We're just practicing engaging our primary chords in lots of different ways. If you get lightheaded, take a little break. Let's try that with head voice real quick. Okay, all these different coordinations, and we're not consciously thinking about holding back or constricting or restricting air in any other way than with what our primary chords are doing. Once you've not missed that, which most people miss, move on to the next stage, which is using areas above our primary chords, tissues, structures, and muscles, to restrict, constrict, shape the air as it's coming out of our vocal tracts after it's hit the primary chords and after we've decided what we're doing with those primary chords. So, we're going to go back to our chest voice note with good chord closure, and we're going to practice directing the sensation upward while maintaining that note. So we're building a constriction over the top of an already well-developed good chord closure note. Now, you will likely feel as you're doing this all sorts of sensations like, oh, I'm starting to choke, I'm starting to gag, or whatever. This is normal, and you must be patient. Develop this habit of seeing these things and feeling these things as two separate occurrences. My constriction is happening high in the throat, away from my vocal cords. Visualize it that way, and the note is just happening as we practiced it before. Good chord closure. Build the constriction on top of it. Don't even try to go for a distortion or gurgliness. Just hold back a little bit of air up top. You see how it gets sheenier? It actually sounds breathier, but a different breathy than right? Than that poor chord closure. We've got great chord closure. We've got now I'm going to add a more extreme constriction at the top of my vocal tract, as high as I possibly can, while maintaining a good note. Now, and this is where it gets really fun, I'm going to experiment with the different vocal postures of my primary chords now that I've gotten that constriction comfortable. So I'm going to place a good chord closure note below it. Now I'm going to disengage my primary chords a little bit. More of a sigh. But I'm going to do it after I create the good chord closure. Listen to what happens. Cool. I've demoted the note. I'm using poor chord closure and compression. So it creates a much more sort of screamy, or it's not airier. More of my sound is being shaped by the areas above my primary chords. I've shifted the focus. Let's do that higher. Good chord closure. Bad chord closure. Constrict above. What you end up feeling is you end up adding more support as you constrict above your vocal cords and slightly practice disengaging your primary cords once you've constricted. This is the way I've been able to dial in compression in so many different ways across my range for using distortion, but also just great dynamics. I hope you found this helpful. Again, if you want way more exploration into this process, click that link below in the pinned comment and try out my course, The Aggressive Vocalist's Master Plan of Attack. We'll see you for more.
Good support versus bad support. How it's supposed to look and feel. We're not going like this and pushing in. Our stomach shouldn't be doing that. It shouldn't be a push up into this area. It should be a down. Like that. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, 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 ha. Poop muscles. Sometimes it's helpful to lay down so you can get a sense for how inefficient the wrong ways are. Ha, 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 ha. That's the subtle inward look, but I'm focusing down. Ha, ha, ha. See how that engages too much? Ha, ha, ha.
If I were to learn to scream all over again, I'd do it differently. Here's what I've done wrong and what I'm doing right now that is helping me build my voice in an amazing way. I really got into extreme vocals via the Iowa era for Corey Taylor, Slipknot.
This and wonder what I've done to calcify, ignore you. As I close my eyes, I feel it all slipping away. I come towards you. We all got love behind. We let it all slip away. I ignore you. As I close my eyes.
And I just jumped right in, not even listening to isolated vocals like you heard there. I was listening to the album. My voice would burn out and never come even close to what Corey was doing. And what I would later realize is the problem with this approach is I'm not listening to a real voice when I'm listening to Corey Taylor Studio. He, in many interviews, had said in this era, there's very little, or if any, technique focus. He's just going all out with raw emotion, and the production, there's so much layering, there's distortion on his voice, there's all these things going on, in addition to this rawness of his performance, that when I go into that trying to learn from it, I am starting from a very poor place. As I would later develop my technique for safe, sustainable pitch screams like Corey Taylor does, I would realize that in order to get that sound, I also need to have a lot of production know-how as well. This is me all layered up.
All my friends have pictures meant to make you cry.
It sounds way different and way better than me just trying to make any one of those sounds. I was initially trying to make all of those sounds with one voice, not realizing that it was multiple voices in production that was producing the overall sound I liked so much. It's impossible. But I had my first major breakthrough when I figured out that I needed to focus not on just pure energy, but on placement and transitions in my voice. All sorts of transitions. Head to chest, cry and compression, and size, in a non-really intense, emotionally engaged way, so I could practice them without burning out. And one of the best things I ever did was learn how to internalize Jonathan Davis's Korn
sort of screwy beatboxing freak on a leash segment. Why? Because it's full of transitions. I'm actually practicing not locking myself into any one thing. I'm practicing entering head voice. I'm practicing entering false chord engagement. I'm practicing entering nasality and doing all sorts of funny things. But I'm doing it fast, I'm doing it rhythmically, and so if I tense up or give it too much energy, it all falls apart. So it served as this check. The other thing that was really great about it is I could listen to it and know that he was doing it all in one pass. Unlike the Corey Taylor stuff that I would listen to, it's all him doing it without layering. That was huge for me, and to be able to put that in my own voice was so freeing. Kisses up into head voice, rhythmic consistency, nasality, changes in placement all over the place. So by focusing on placement over power and transitions over consistency, I actually got the power and consistency that I wanted. This came about by focusing on more isolated, one-take, variety-oriented vocals rather than layered, produced, yet raw vocals. And my next breakthrough, and this is really the biggest of all, came from having real awesome vocalists right here with me making the sounds. So there was no barrier between what they were doing and what I was actually hearing. No music, no productions, no mic, no nothing. And then them being able to tell me that the sounds I was making were okay. And all the sensations that I feel while I'm dialing things in are okay. It totally takes the guesswork out of it for me.
Can you go clean into wrong?
Yeah. Tell me what the fuck is wrong, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong? What the fuck is wrong? What the fuck is wrong? So there's different layers and dimensions of leaning into that. Sending that feeling, that sensation up more into like my cheeks and my upper lip. That's where I feel like it's resonating. And instead I'm going, hey, wow, I'm up here. You know, it's like, wow, you kind of squeak into it with your head voice.
But that's weightier than what you're doing.
Yeah, mine's a little higher and lighter. You know, it's got this top shine to it.
And where you still have the wrong in the background.
And it's very close to what I'm doing. It's really just like it's channeling it up a bit more. Yeah, and that sounds great too. I mean, there's definitely a mix of things going on.
You don't get that just by listening and imitating because you might not be hearing things correctly or feeling things correctly. Having that interaction with someone is so important.
Also, if you notice, I'll put my hand up to my ear a lot because for those of you that don't know, when you sing or when you scream, your voice goes outwards. And unless you're like in the bathroom or like in the shower or in the car, it's going to be harder to hear. And you want to make sure that you're really hearing your voice.
Being able to hear and see the transitions from a more basic sound that I can do to the fully developed sound of a master over and over again is super helpful for me. And a guy that's really good at showing this kind of thing is Justin Bonnets from the channel Hungry Lights.
And if I slow that down,
so we can come alive! All right, I try. Transitions and placement and learn through raw interactions and feedback.
rather than just relying on your ear. It's very unreliable, especially in the beginning. If you'd like to enhance your learning by working with some of the people that I've worked with, head to mymusicalvoice.com and check out all the options there. You can enter the code SCREAMBIG for a hefty discount. And for the full Corey Taylor and Jonathan Davis breakdowns that I used in this video, go here. They're so interesting and they were so revealing to me.
Let's try that sort of thing. We want to place things.